Hello, people of the internet. It is I, GareBear890, back again with another video. Alright, so as you can see, it's that time of year again. Top 10. So, now we are on 2023. And it's kind of funny. I initially thought it was a slower year for games. And I think in some ways it was, but in other ways it wasn't. Because it allowed me to play more games that came out last year. And so I actually had more than 10 and had to narrow it down a bit. So let's get going. So number 10 is Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which, hey, I love me some Mario. I'm more about the adventure Mario games like Super Mario 64, Sunshine probably being my favorite, and then Odyssey was incredible. But just watching the videos of this one, I couldn't refuse, and I'm glad I didn't because it is an excellent platformer, very unique, had some really cool ideas, and it just goes to show that Nintendo, they are just kings of innovation. All right, up next, kind of a hidden gem of sorts. We have Bramble, the Mountain King. So this is definitely in a similar vein of Little Nightmares. If you enjoyed those games, this is probably going to be right up your alley. So it is a very beautiful and unique and dark and twisted game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a shorter one, about 4 hours or so, but it was definitely worth the playthrough. Okay, up next we have Pikmin 4. So short story. I own all the Pikmin games, but for the longest time, I owned Pikmin 1, 2, and 3, and I had never played them beyond like just the intros, just to kind of check it out. And then finally, I forced myself to play Pikmin 1. And once I started getting into it, it's an incredible series. Like, it's a lot more than what you think it is, and it's a very clever and charming game. And I've been into the series ever since. I immediately played 2 and 3, and I was very excited for 4. And it did not disappoint. Added some really cool elements and was huge. I basically 100% of the game, and it took about 45 hours. And there was still plenty I could do. But yeah, definitely a fun game and did not disappoint the Pikmin series. All right, now this one is a placeholder because there is no physical release, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I show you. Alan Wake. So, I played Alan Wake, this one, or I should say the original release on the Xbox 360, back in like 2012, and I really enjoyed the game, thought it was really cool, very unique, and so I was very excited about the remaster. I actually played through the remaster, and was looking forward to Alan Wake 2. And while I am sad it did not get a physical release, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it is a great game, and it expounds on this one like tenfold. The graphics are incredible, the lighting is amazing. It is just another incredible and unique Remedy game where don't always understand everything that's going on, and it is very cryptic and crazy, you know, just like Control before it. But anyways, great game, awesome, awesome sequel. All right, and then this one was definitely a year for remakes, and I don't think they disappointed. And that can definitely be said about Resident Evil 4 remake. Capcom has just been on fire with these Resident Evil remakes. I love 2 and 3 and 4. I was very excited when they announced this. And it's cool because it's not just a shot for shot remake. You know, they tweaked it, they made it better. They changed some sequences and some battles, and so it felt like just a completely fresh experience. And it was definitely challenging, that's for sure. But I had a good time playing through. All right, now here's one that I was excited for, but not as excited as Resident Evil 4. And that is Dead Space. I got into Dead Space way later than I should have. It was one that my brother kept harping on me to play because he loved the series. So I finally played 1, 2, and 3, and I immediately understood what everybody was talking about. And so he picked this up, and then he was like, dude, you got to play it. And so I did, and I was kind of surprised, like how much fun I had with it. Obviously, like the graphical upgrade was absolutely incredible, but this, like Resident Evil 4, had some minor tweaks, a few sequences changed, and it really worked out well. And I had a great time playing through that again. Okay, and now here is one that I wasn't quite sure how it was gonna pan out. It looked amazing, but trailers do not always tell the whole tale. So, anyways, Hogwarts Legacy. I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I love the books and the movies and the whole universe. And this game from day one looked amazing. And holy smokes, it did not disappoint. Like, it exceeded my expectations. They did a great job of capturing the magical world. You know, just all the books and the moving portraits, and just everything was insanely detailed. And there was so many things to do and so many places to go. And yeah, I really had a good time with Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, and then here's another big one that I knew would not disappoint: Spider-Man 2. So I obviously played Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Morales, both phenomenal games, incredible story, and just felt like the real deal Peter Parker from the comics. And this just continues in that same vein. And yeah, just this one was one that it took me a little bit to get going. Like, it starts off with a bang, like they all do, but there was really some moments kind of near the middle and end that just blew me away and cemented it as one of my all-time favorite games. All right, now here is one that I was so glad to see, and it just looked like it was getting back on track and getting back to its roots. That is Diablo 4, which, initially I was a little on the fence about Diablo 3. Um, I thought it's a phenomenal game. And the more I played it, and especially doing like the seasons with friends, then it definitely grew on me a lot more. But it just had a different feel, like with the graphics style and the art style and how it played out. Like, it kind of lost that gritty gothic tone that Diablo 1 and 2 were really known for. And so Diablo 4, I felt like it brought it back, and the story was awesome, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And I really just enjoyed this game. I put a solid like 50, 60 hours into it, and I definitely will be diving back in with another class. All right, and so that brings us to number one. This one just blew us all away, and if you know, you know. I'm talking about the Lord of the Rings Gollum. No, and this is just a joke, and I don't mean to poke fun, because I know the studio tried their best, and they really wanted to make a great game, and just unfortunately it couldn't come together. And this is sad when it happens, because a lot of work goes into these games. But yeah, I was able to pick this one up during Black Friday from GameFly for, it was $7.99 and free shipping. So I don't know. I just grabbed it because I could. And it will be a piece of gaming history, that's for sure. But no, getting to the real number one, I promise. This shouldn't surprise most people, especially if you've watched my other channels. This is my favorite series of all time. I would say this is really the series that got me into modern gaming, and that is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. It was definitely a long time coming, but I feel like I understand why now, just with how massive this game is. I loved Breath of the Wild. Incredible game, just beautiful in so many ways, and really epic. But one thing I felt that it was lacking in some ways was um, just more side quests, more places to explore that had actual meaning. So, there was plenty of places to go and caves and crevices and whatnot, but there wasn't much going on outside of the planned side quests. And I feel like they really ramped it up in this one, where there was just like so many side quests and so many caves to explore that had treasures and little mini missions going on, and I thought that was really cool. And yeah, they blew me away with this one. Felt like a true sequel to Breath of the Wild, without just copying it but becoming its own game. So definitely did not disappoint in any way, and just another incredible Legend of Zelda game. All right, and we got some bonus honorable mentions. Obviously, I was saying it was a year of remakes. And so the remakes I felt like counted because, like I said, they kind of tweaked the formula, changed it a bit, and it wasn't just slapping a fresh coat of paint on, which isn't a bad thing. And proof of that is Metroid Prime Remastered. It kind of came out of nowhere, and I think initially people were apprehensive and kind of confused. But then once people started playing it, you couldn't find it. It was sold out and going for like $100. But once it kind of calmed down, then I was able to pick it up for $40, and I had a blast playing through it. It was awesome. The controls were great, and it wasn't just upping the resolution, but that they actually went through and uh, redid the textures, and so it legitimately looked, a lot better, a lot newer, ran faster, and better. So yeah, this was definitely fun to revisit with its new coat. All right, now this one came out at the very end of 2022, and due to the negative backlash it initially received, I held off. But then there was a deal I couldn't say no to, and it's come a long way. There's been some updates. It's definitely a lot better than it was, and I can say that for sure now that I have played through the entire game, and that is the Callisto Protocol. Um, Graphically stunning, just looks incredible, and definitely was in the Dead Space vein. I mean, it was from the original creator, and that's kind of what they were going for, and they succeeded. It was similar in a lot of ways, but it also had a lot of unique elements. Now, I definitely did not play this until well after, from what I understand, a lot of necessary patches happened. So when I played it, I had a great time. I thought the combat was really cool and unique and very hard hitting. And one of my favorite things is, you didn't have to rely solely on your guns. Like, you could definitely go the melee route and still be, a very formidable opponent against all the enemies. So yeah, anyways, it's actually a fun game and had a really cool story, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I felt like it deserves a shout out because, unfortunately, a lot of games get pushed out the door too early, and the developers themselves don't always have the final say. And so sometimes you just got to give a game a second chance or give them a bit of time to tweak things and figure them out. But anyways, so those are my top 10 games of 2023. Let me know, what are yours? What games did you unexpectedly love or expectedly love? But anyways, as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.